Yo, what is going on, chat room? Let me center myself. There we go. There we go. What's up, King Shadow, Quentin, Big Rob, anime fan. I know Eamon was in here too. What's up, guys? Thanks for coming in. We're just doing a live stream little hangout today. Just kind of like shooting the shit, answering questions. I try to do a couple of these a month where I kind of just like answer questions. We kind of bounce back and forth on topics. Kind of very free flowing. Thank you so much, Quentin, for saying it. Sick ass shirt. Yeah, this is guessing a Japanese Leatherface Texas Chainsaw Massacre shirt. I shouldn't say Leatherface because that's an entirely different movie. But Leatherface is in this though. But yeah, this is an OG Texas Chainsaw Massacre shirt from FYE. Masai, what's up? Thanks for coming in, guys. Yeah, I'm just kind of shooting the shit. I didn't really have, obviously I can kind of get into like other topics, stuff that's been going on, stuff that I've been playing. Big Rob, Ayo Ant with the 5. Thank you so much, brother. Really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Really appreciate the donation. And I want to see if I can actually get the, let's see, alert box. I just want to see if I can bring this stuff over here. Add source. There we go. Maybe I can have little stuff pop up here in the corner because I'm doing this full screen, so I'm just testing. Yes, super chat.
I am not with Umbrella.
Okay, that was just a test. I am not with Umbrella. Thank you so much, man, for the 5. Really appreciate that. Thoughts on the RE movie? Which one? Welcome to Raccoon City. Yeah, I not really too big on the film, but I would say that it's, like I said, I'm kind of working on getting a video done that kind of talks about some of the other things that I'm trying to talk about in that. Look at that. We can mess around with the lighting. The cool lighting. There's more noise on the camera when I darken it, as you can see. Let's see. Ocean. Deep dive. This is the deep dive blue right here. Might rock with the blue. Feeling the blue right now. Yeah, I don't know. I was personally just really like disappointed in the Resident Evil film, so The first game on PlayStation Spartacus got leaked. They're all siphon filters from what I've seen. Well, Siphon Filter is... I love Siphon Filter. I think Siphon Filter is a... that's I mean, it's like one of my childhood games. So the fact that that's coming out... It doesn't surprise me, though. Like, I want to see Resident Evil 1 through 3 on Spartacus. I want to see Siphon Filter on Spartacus. What other games are you playing besides survival horror titles? I'm playing Monster Hunter Rise. I know. You'd be like, holy shit, Anthony cares about Monster Hunter? Well, yeah. I'm a fan. What can I say? I really enjoy this game, and it's not my kind of game, typically. But shout out to Capcom who sent me a code. It was the first thing that I ever got sent from Capcom, so that's kind of cool. Monster Hunter will go down in history as being that game. But it was on the Switch last year, and it wasn't out on anything up until January. They put it out on PC. So it's on Steam and Nintendo Switch. So I requested a key for Monster Hunter, and I played Monster Hunter, and I thought it was a really... I'm not done. I'm playing it with... shout out to Brandon. I'm playing with him. It's a lot. it's a lot to... Like, I'm not familiar with Monster Hunter. So, like, if you guys were on the Patreon back when me and John reviewed the Monster Hunter movie, we did a little Patreon exclusive review for that film, and I didn't really have, like, the film was like whatever, 6 out of 10. I wasn't crazy about it, but I didn't really know the references. I didn't get it. What's up, King Shadow? I didn't really get the references. So I was just kind of like, whatever, like it kind of went over my head. But now, if I went back and watched that movie, I'd be like, okay, this, and that. I don't know if it would still change my opinion. Probably not of the movie, but the game is cool. I think Rise is a very fun game. It reminds me of like a very like anime-esque, hunting monsters and just like it. So and again, it has a really interesting soundtrack. Like, it's really good. And so yeah, I've been playing that, actually. That, and I'm always on Halo. I'm trying to get to my over 100 on my battle pass thing, legitimately. I'm not gonna pay to win, but I've been working on that. But yeah, so Monster Hunter Rise, yeah, it's been really good. I'm gonna be doing a little special thing on that for Patreon. Like, again, I'll be even on the show, I might dedicate a little segment to talking about Monster Hunter and give a little mini review once I play more into it, because Capcom was really nice to send that out. Well, it's a code, but it's still cool because they gave me all the pre-order DLC and all that stuff. So it's cool. So I've been playing that. And burning dudes with a taser, anime fan, hell yeah. And Siphon Filter, that's like the best thing ever. We got an update for the Wolverine game. That's cool. Let's see. Lego says my middle name Logan comes from Gabe and Wolverine. That's awesome. Thank you so much, Lucius, for the $4.49. You guys are being generous with the donations. I appreciate that. I'm just trying to catch up on some comments here. The motion capture is about to start. Let's see. Quentin says the movie was so rough, and I wanted to like it. Yeah, I mean, it was just like a very like, it was what I kind of expected from Paul Anderson. And shout out to Quentin Bauer, by the way. I want to keep talking about the merch and plugging it because I'm excited, but it's my job to talk about my merch a lot more. So obviously, check out the brand new Nemesis t-shirt that Quentin Bauer art, or Quentin Bauer, fellow mod supporter, member. He did some artwork in the thumbnail, and the logo you saw in the beginning was also something that he worked on and did. So again, much love to that. And please check out the shirt. it's an awesome design, and there's a bunch of stuff on there. There's tank tops. There's now mugs and uh, pillows, so you can sleep on an LTRE pillow. Uh, oh man, are you gonna play the remake of RE3? I already did.
Most of these
Let's
medicines
see.
are
Did
from
you
Umbrella.
see the new Texas Chainsaw movie? Big Rob, I did not. I did not see that yet. I've just heard bad things. Nemesis, what's up, man? How's it going? Hope you're doing well, brother. Hope you're doing well. I saw you reach 7K, and that's killer, man. And keep killing it. Keep killing it. Big Rob says, yeah, about the Texas Chainsaw. Yeah, no, I really haven't. I just, I could watch it, and I just know that I'm gonna be disappointed. But all right, we're gonna play the fan remake of RE3. Oh, you're asking about the fan remake. Everyone's talking about this. I don't know. Is this like an actual thing? I thought the update needed. Someone was talking about that last stream. That's why I bring that up. I don't think they put Nemesis in the game yet. I thought the only update it needed was the third person mode, but I guess not. Huh. I'm thinking of getting myself a mug. Hell yeah, Quentin. Imagine if they use Unreal 5 on the fan remakes. Well, I mean, yeah, Unreal 5 is going to be like the standard now for a lot of this stuff. What's up, Cam A? What's up, Chris McGraw? Thanks for coming in. Nemesis says, I'm doing all right, man. Yeah, I'm almost at 7K, getting closer. Oh, yeah, man. You'll get there. Lucia says, are you still going to play RE4 on VR? I see there was a new update with Mercs. Yes, Lucia. So, as you guys know, about last month, we raised money for a Quest 2. So that will be, oh, nice, Akira. Good shit. That will be coming up in May at this point, because I wanted to finish. This month was obviously heavy with the streams because I wanted to get the dice lock done, and I wanted to get the Tormented Souls playthrough done. So I kind of had to focus on getting certain series done, and then I'm working on the 100% run for RE3. So that's also ongoing, but I'm going to be continuing that tomorrow, and I decided to do the live stream hangout today instead because it's been a little bit, so I wanted to do this. But Akira just copped a Outbreak copy on PS2 for $20. That's actually really good. That's a good price for Resident Evil Outbreak. That's killer. Gary Garcia, what's up? Thanks for coming in. Rambo, what's up, man? Rambo fans here says, hey there, hope you're doing well. Yeah, man. I'm doing well. We're actually just kind of shooting the shit about like other stuff that I've been playing, and I was checking out Monster Hunter because that was something I've never actually played, and it's not survival horror, but it's something that someone brought up, like other stuff that I was playing, and then someone brought up Siphon Filter 1 through 3 that's being, I guess, leaked, or not leaked, but they're bringing it to the Spartacus PlayStation service system that's going to be, I guess, offering the older games finally after how many years, since the PS3. But yeah, we're kind of talking about that a little bit, and that kind of brings up the discussion of whether or not people are going to stay on the service and they want to get those games, because I think it's going to be a situation where you won't be able to buy them separately, but if you can, but that wouldn't really sign people up. They would probably make it to where you could do that. But in comparison, it's weird because other stores let you do that. So you could buy the game individually. But I think it's Nintendo, right? Nintendo does that too, where like, I don't think you can buy. Can someone in the chat, there's got to be someone in the chat that uses the Switch or Nintendo service. On their service, can you buy the games by themselves? Or do you have to be on the service to play like an N64 game? Or can you buy it separately without having to be signed up? Because that's an interesting question. Akira said the disc isn't in the greatest shape, but I couldn't pass it up. I mean, I'm sure it plays, Akira, so even if it skips a little bit, Um, really hope Village DLC gets revealed at Summer Game Fest. I would hope so. You know, it's kind of interesting because even like, when is Summer Game Fest? When is that year? Or year? What is that month? I know what year it is. I don't even know where I'm at. When is this? June 2022? So June? Maybe. Maybe. It's always possible. It's always possible. Um, let's see. You have to be on the service. You have to be on the service, I'm sure. Okay, yeah. So it's Nintendo. Yeah, I think we talked about that on Game Complainers, like them taking a page out of Nintendo's book. I'll probably try it out for. I think it actually launches when I'm in the UK, believe it or not. Um, but I don't know. I don't know what's going on with. Like I might just sign up for a month and try it out because I want. I obviously want to try it out. You know. Let's see. Where's my? I put my all my Saturn stuff over here. Yeah, my recent pickups. I showed you guys House of the Dead on Sega Saturn, so I showed you guys that. But then I picked up this bad boy. I was telling Rambo about this. Rambo Raft Die Hard Arcade, and this is killer, man. This runs with the action replay on the Saturn, and I picked up this. So again, shout out to Perry. I got this and House of the Dead, the original on Sega Saturn, and then, which I don't have Nightmare on Elm Street yet because that's on the list. Apparently, that's going up in price, but I got Friday the 13th on NES because why not? You know, at this point, I'll collect the horror stuff, the obscure stuff. And I picked them up with the action replay. As you guys know, I did a video on the action replay using it on Biohazard and the House of the Dead, which, of course, is very expensive. God, these American ports are just like, it's like don't even bother, you know, nowadays with some of this stuff. So I'd rather just play this, and then that's it. You know, you can get like light guns for this too, which is cool. So like if you want to get light guns for Die Hard Arcade or House of the Dead or any on-rail shooter, then I think you can get one for like the older TVs, like if you have one. So I still have a CRT hanging around just to have it. But Rambo says, I remember you mentioning it on the stream. Nice to see the physical copy. Yeah, it's in really good shape too. So I'm really excited. I know that's one of your favorites. And when my buddy had it at his shop, I was like, all right, like I have to get this, you know, because I am a big Die Hard fan as well, and I love Die Hard trilogy, and like that's a game that I really hope comes out on that Spartacus PlayStation, because when my dad had that, and he had Die Hard Trilogy 2, which was like a trilogy made up within the universe of Die Hard that wasn't based off the movies. It was like he goes in Vegas and it's like this whole thing, and I played all that stuff between that and like watching Die Hard 1 like a million times on VHS. Man, I found my like childhood VHS, and that was a very emotional moment because I was like, holy crap, I haven't seen this thing in like years, you know, but I found it. I still have it. So yeah, Die Hard Arcade though, never fully played through it, so this is kind of me jumping in. I think I saw the arcade machine once. I think it was in like, it might have been in like Seaside, New Jersey, like some arcade, and I saw it like in person, and I was like, what? This is a thing? And I saw it like way after I played Die Hard Trilogy and like all these other games, and then I ended up playing it, and then I was like, what is this? So that was like the first like introduction to it, but then of course never really owned it on consoles. JB Zombie says, yo, Ant, what's up? Any chance you'll do Outbreak with Perry? That would be fun to watch you guys play. Yes, JB Zombie, that is the plan. We have to finish Operation Raccoon City, because I mean we finished it, we beat the game, but we're trying to go and do the DLC, and we might have to do a different combination of people with Perry. I don't even know. You know, we're figuring it out at the moment, but I want to do the DLC on that, and because that came out 12 years ago or 10 years ago. 10 years ago this month, I think the DLC for Operation Raccoon City came out. So I plan on doing that. Again, I just got to line up the schedules, but yeah, Outbreak will happen. Outbreak will happen. So, Quentin says, I have the Friday 13th game. It's so tough. It really is, man. It really is. I need Sweet Home for the Famicom. Yes, I do, and I am going to play that on the channel. That has to happen. Sviderman says, I used to own the entire collection of RE2 action figures still in the box until they were destroyed in a flood. Yes, Sviderman, I know a lot of people that have had a lot of issues with that happening, and like it's terrible. It's losing all that stuff, and due to like water damage, or whether it's in the attic or basement, you know, it's like you can't, it's hard to sometimes store these things, and like especially when stuff like that happens and it's out of your control, and you're just like, I don't even feel like getting this shit back anymore because it's gone up, or you invested so much time into something, and it is lost, you know. Yeah, I know that's rough, man. That's really rough. But I hope that you've got some of your collection still hanging around if you got some RE. I have the Die Hard game on GameCube. Yes, Die Hard Vendetta was the Die Hard game that I did play on GameCube back in the day. That game was funny. That game was like in a good way. Like it was fun and it was funny. And I remember renting it from the video store, and I thought it was just crazy. I was like, why is this on GameCube? You know, it's a very like, it was very different. It was first person, I'm pretty sure. And I don't think I ever owned it, but I guarantee you it probably goes for, I don't know if it goes for money, but I was like, with my luck, it's like, oh, I should have got it. Rambo says, but I was told the first Die Hard is awful because it's so misogynistic, told by very, very stupid article writers. Oh, no. It's just like, Die Hard's a classic, man. It's so good. I was showing my friend the film because he hasn't seen it since he was like a kid, and he forgot a lot about it, and he was like, holy shit, man, this is like so good. It's paced so well, the acting is so well done, the music is so well done. You could tell that, you know, they were just trying to go after that vibe each time. And I do like, I did like, even like what I mentioned on your stream, like I wanted it to kind of, it would have been nice for it to end after the trilogy, but when I did see Live Free or Die Hard, I did really enjoy it. I didn't think it was too bad. But it just kind of sucks that like it led into 5, which led nowhere. It's like if they had a 6th film to kind of like, even if it would have been crappy, to kind of like try to wrap up everything in a way. Cause I know they kind of end where like they don't have to make another one. And then it's kind of like, okay, they're reunited like every other, you know, release. But it just sucks that Live Free or Die Hard was like, or not Live Free or Die Hard, A Good Day to Die Hard. See, I get the names mixed up. It's great. Like it sucks that is like the last one that we got, you know. There's also Die Hard Vendetta for GameCube and Nakatomi Plaza on PC. Yes, that was the other one, Nakatomi Plaza. I don't think I've ever played that one, but man, those Die Hard games, Die Hard in gaming just kind of went like with the Siphon Filters and the Metal Gear Solids and the Resident Evils. Like for me, it kind of just blended in with all that stuff in a good way. Like it was like part of what was going on the PlayStation. And I know it was Die Hard Trilogy was for Sega Saturn as well, which I'd like to get that copy. I don't think that goes for that much money, but I might eat my words on that. I don't know. But yeah, they don't really make the Die Hard games anymore. That would have been really cool if they did that. Big Rob says, off topic, what did you think of Scream 2022? I didn't hate it like a lot of people. But I think without giving it away, and I know most people probably already saw it, but I don't want to be that guy. I think that there's character choices and decisions that they made that were really disappointing. And they just like, I know that they're just going to really, you know, kind of beat a dead horse with the 6th one that they're coming out with in a year. But, you know, I would rank them, to put it in short, I would kind of rank them the way that they were released, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I like 4 over 5, and you know, saying that doesn't mean like, oh, 4 is a great film too, because I still have problems with 4, even though it was, you know, Wes Craven's last, you know, directed Scream film. It sucks that that was, he didn't really get a chance to give it another shot in this era. I thought that would have been very cool to see. But maybe he would have just produced. Maybe if he was still around, he would have just been, collecting the checks and just hanging out like John Carpenter does with the Halloween series. So I can't blame them. I mean, they've done their part, like in the film ways. They've made their mark. They deserve to just chill. But when Wes passed, and I was like, man, if they're gonna continue Scream, is it gonna still feel the same? Is it gonna and it tried to have the same vibe, but I still like the trilogy of Scream. Like I still like 1, 2, and 3, in their own quirky way. Even people shit on 3, and how can you shit on 3? Like, Creed is in that movie. You can't shit on that. I mean, Creed makes that movie unstoppable. You can't even compare even all this like Jordan Peele bullshit. No, Creed's in Scream 3. It's over. Once you hear What If, it's done. The rest of the movie writes itself. But no, I even Scream 3 I like. So, Aaron says, on the topic of horror films, I have to say that The Thing, 82, or Alien are the best of all time, especially because of how underappreciated at the time. Yeah, I would agree. I mean, I seriously think that a lot of things are very like things are underrated yet they aren't. It's almost like a lot of stuff with horror and just different genres, whether it's like music or movies or whatever, just anything in that realm where it's kind of like the outcast, or it's almost like it always happens in a vacuum. There's always like this bubble of fans. It's always like there is a cult following of fans, even though it doesn't seem like there is. And that's kind of, I feel like, a lot of pockets of horror fans kind of developed throughout the years. And, even though, oh, it's a box office flop, it's like, fuck you and your box office. No one cares what exactly it does on the opening weekend. And, but people looked at that as, well, it's not successful, so I don't want to go see that. But some people that are like fans of film and know that it doesn't really matter how much money that it makes, opening weekend. If it's a good film, it's a good film. And with stuff like The Thing and Alien, where regardless of the debuts and regardless of like what's gone on over that, because someone was even asking like Aliens or Alien, and like I would say Alien. I like Aliens, and there's a lot of times throughout my life where I would say Aliens to Alien or T2 to Terminator, but I like Terminator to T2. I like Alien over Aliens. But it's not like I don't like those movies, the sequels. It's not like I'm taking anything away. It's just I just like what established it. I like the ground that it was breaking, and yeah, it's very cool. It's very fun to go back and watch those movies. Always unappreciated movies that are always around, and yeah, it's I think and it also comes from the different eras of when these things were released too, because there was these the blockbuster films of the summer, and like when those eras started to happen, and you would have those big box office movies, and things started to have a certain hype built to them, when a lot of stuff just kind of like came out, or horror stuff just kind of came out, and it was what it was. If it had some names attached to it, some big names attached to it, obviously you would have that success. Punch Kick says, I wish Fake Down was finished and released on Sega Saturn. It was a survival horror game that Katsuhiro Atama was involved with. I don't know. I think I've heard of that. That sounds familiar, but I don't know if I've ever heard of a Saturn game like that. Unless I'm sure it was on Sega Saturn. It was canceled, but Steven Max says, so did Ari Reverse just die at this point? I have no idea, because even like I haven't heard anything about Reverse. Like, so I would imagine that if they were going to announce Village DLC, Reverse would be given to us with that announcement. So, what's up, McFly 97? Um, yeah, man. I uh I was really kind of enjoying um the Tormented Souls playthrough up until when I beat that, and that being like a new survival horror game was kind of like I liked what they did there. I liked that they actually did some kind of they really tried to bring it back. They really tried to bring it back, and some of it was better done in different ways. But Tormented Souls is not. It's not like it's that much of a pricey game. I don't think it's full price. You know what I mean? It's always on sale, so I would say check it out. You know, my comment about seeing a sealed copy of Die Hard for $35 on an auction site just now was not posted in the chat. Oh damn, it might have been or I missed it, man. But see, a sealed copy of Die Hard for 35 at an auction site. What Die Hard? Are you talking about trilogy or like the film? Because that's you know I don't know. I don't know if that would be a good deal. Wawa Peach Tea. The only way. The only way to survive. All right. Let's see what we got here. Oh, Vendetta on the GameCube? Damn. $35. Shit. Sealed? I mean, I feel like any sealed GameCube game is like a lot of money, but maybe I don't know. Just getting Vendetta in general is something that would be really cool. So Lucia says, compared to previous years, how well is the channel growing this year for subs, etc.? I honestly, for this year and last year, because with analytics, you can kind of put them side by side, and you can look at like what you did, what you're doing, whatever, what's predicted, right? And it's been growing. It's been obviously a slow Resident Evil time, but compared to last year and this year, it's pretty much about the same, even with Village, believe it or not. Because with Village, I don't want to beat a dead horse, but we didn't get as much of a push. We weren't able to kind of like beat the video train and beat the hype train. We were covering Village for a year, so that was a growth period and stuff like that too. After Resident Evil 3, because Resident Evil 3, 2019 to 2020 was, I think, the bigger the bigger growth periods for the channel. That goes without saying, because the end of 2019, but it was really 2020 and then leading into 2021 was the big push, because me and John were able to capture the algorithm at the right time with RE3 Remake. So, and it also kind of lined up with people being at home and not being able to, leave and watching content. So that, I think, grows a lot too. That also played part in it. And people were looking for stuff to watch. So, but we had a good couple years of stuff coming out back and forth. You know what I mean? So it was pretty much like RE2, and then it was RE3, and then it was Village. So, it's like one of those things where when there is stuff going on, when it's booming, it's definitely easier to push. Definitely. Last year, though, obviously it kind of we're growing every day. Like, I'm growing the channel every day, and when me and John were working on the channel, we grew it tremendously, and I'm very thankful for that. He's my brother. I still love all those moments that we had, shooting the shit, doing stuff, doing content, growing the shit. And he's coming out with his channel and his update is coming out Sunday. So it's John Griever. So I'll post the links and I'll share all that stuff. So John's coming back with his channel. So that's very exciting. But yeah, no, that was definitely a good point to grow. I think we did as much. I again wouldn't go, even last year, I wouldn't go about anything any differently in terms of how we covered Village and how we still, stuck to our guns, and we said the honest truth when there was a bunch, like 90% of fans saying, "What do you mean?" Not so much community fans, like fans of this channel, but like Resident Evil fans that would stumble upon us not really praising it as much. It was more like a what the hell, because we were so excited about it, going in. We actually were ramping it up, getting excited, and because we generally were, we weren't getting paid off. We weren't getting, despite what people were saying to play in, whoever's favor. It wasn't about that. It was just about being honest. And that's what we did. And I don't know if that hurt the channel. I don't know if that made people not want to see what we had to say. But once Village was done, it was kind of done. Like it didn't really, like the review and the podcast didn't really gain a lot of traction as much as it should have in comparison to RE3 Remake. So you can blame this, that, or whatever on it, but I wouldn't go about it any other way, despite, the lack of full-on growth last year. This year, though, so far, it's been pretty good. Almost to 17K. Obviously, it would definitely help if there was Resident Evil stuff going on, for sure. But I've been learning to adapt and to obviously make content and work on stuff. And to finally work on stuff like when there is just, like not a lot of RE stuff going on, but there's always something going on. There's always something to be made and something to be talked about. There's 26 years of, shit online for Resident Evil and stuff to talk about. There's also a lot of videos that have been done. There's also a lot of content that's been done. There's a lot of things that have been talked about. There's a lot of things that have been already approached, but it's how I approach it and make it different that matters. You know what I mean? So it doesn't mean that things can't bring, I can't bring a refreshing take to the table. And that's kind of what I'm working on. So the first few months of this year have just been me, obviously, just kind of like working it out and kind of seeing what the algorithm is up to and what it's doing and what you guys obviously want to. So obviously the video content is going to be kind of going hand in hand with the live stream content because YouTube likes that stuff. Vendetta goes for $20 on eBay. That's not bad. It's time that I picked up a Vendetta, Rambo, because I want to get all just the I was just shouting at Perry's here too. Says I've been listening. Finally got to the keyboard. Yeah, shout out to Perry for the awesome Die Hard addition to the collection. Really, really excited. McFly says, I want to read the Resident Evil novels, but I don't know if it's true original story. Well, no. I mean, it is, though. I mean, I think the S.D. Perry is its own canon. It's not like the S.D. Perry novels, like, rewrite stuff. But they are still, like, she changes stuff here and there. But it's great. I mean, I think it follows the games really well. And I think there's a reason why they got fans, Get Vendetta on Xbox. You got to import it off eBay. Oh, okay. Yeah. I mean, I'll get both console, versions. I don't even care because I just love Die Hard. That's cool though. I'll try to think about getting that. Lucius says, so hopefully the second half of the year, pending more RE news releases, should show good numbers for the channel. I hope so, Lucius. And kind of like what I said about adapting with the times of, YouTube and all that stuff. It's changing every other day. But is just to kind of, come up with video ideas and video stuff that I was kind of mentioning on my last stream that the just coming up with a bunch of video ideas that I want to work on and kind of bring my own spin to them and really do just kind of like something different again that hasn't been done, talking about particular topics within the Resident Evil games or events in history. So I would say, stay tuned for all that stuff. And, is it hard to do this for your income? Absolutely. It's not easy. It's never an easy thing. But I got a good community and I got good people around me, and I'm thankful for you guys, support and everything. And I'm trying to use more. Again, what I had been doing the start of this year was using all of my time that I possibly can to just get stuff done on here. And that's why I'm just getting, I'm just kind of creeping over to my other film channel, my Inocula Productions channel, where I'm going to be obviously doing movie discussions and podcasts. And, I have my short films on there, my films that I've made throughout the years. But now I'm starting to, I'm trying to grow. I'm trying to get that channel to 1,000 so I can monetize that, because that would be big. Because it used to be monetized before they changed all the rules. Obviously, this channel never had a problem with that back in the day when they changed all that crap around. But the goal is to just keep pushing with both channels and to grow as much as possible on both. Because I like keeping it just to like two channels. Obviously, I'm always on the Game Complainers every Wednesday night with Perry. So all those are like the channels that I care about, that I contribute to every week, that I at least try to, whether it's a show, a video, or it's something that's being worked on, movie related on my other channel that takes a little bit longer. Like I'm editing a brand new short film that I shot, I finished up in December. But I, didn't dive right into it right away because I had to go into LTRE with the mindset of, okay, I gotta, it's just me. I gotta just do what I can do. Let's just see what happens. And so far, so good, Perry says the Xbox version is different from the GameCube version of Vendetta. There you go. It looks like I'm going to have to get two of them now. Dragon Ball Radiant, what's up? Rambo Raff says, you might get a kick out of the video of Ash Williams visit Resident Evil Village on YouTube. Oh, man, I'm going to have to check that out. That sounds fucking killer. Speaking of Ash Williams, I am looking forward to the Evil Dead game. I actually want to see if some of you guys want to play that. I think it might be cross-play, but I really want to see. I want to try to play with some of my viewers on some of these horror games that, not even a Resident Evil, because sometimes Resident Evil, like, you can only play with one other person. So I like games like that. So yeah, I want to see who's down to play Evil Dead, because I played the beta and I thought it was good. So Eamon says, Anthony, what horror film did you watch recently, and what would you recommend? What would you recommend me? I would say I liked X. So I would say X is a really good recent horror film that kind of took me by surprise. The trailer for the film was horrible. So don't watch the trailer. If anything, the trailer almost turned me off to the film, because it made me think it was like, kind of like paranormal, but it's not. It's not paranormal at all. But it's yes, X is one that I went and saw in a theater, and it kind of surprised me. Where's Resident Evil Outbreak? Oh, you mean like a new one, McFly? Yeah, I mean, that'd be great. But yes, me, Perry, we're gonna be teaming up to do some Outbreak stuff. We just got to finish Operation Raccoon City. Stevie Max says at least next year they'll be loaded with horror games between RE4 remake, Dead Space remake, and the Callisto project. Yes, hopefully there's more stuff. Like I said, I am going to be starting up RE4 VR next month. I know I didn't cover it right when it came out, but we kind of couldn't do that right when it came out. Me and John were still on the channel. John was still taking time away. It couldn't have been done right away, and I know that like that would have played in our favor if I grabbed VR the day one, and but that was when we were making a lot of life changes, and a lot of just a lot of shit was getting figured out, and that's I just didn't do RE4 VR right when it came out. That probably would have benefited the channel like anything else, trying to get capture that wave, capture that capture that ride right when it starts. But better late than never. You guys donated for it too, so that was really cool. So I really appreciate that. You guys are awesome for that, and you guys asked for it, and you will receive it. You will get a playthrough of RE4 on VR. Obviously, Perry hooked me up with the RE7 VR headset, or not, well, it's not an RE7 headset, but the VR for RE7 VR. And so, but I wanted to get that done first because, you know, I had to send that out to Sony, pay for that, but it was like a whole thing because of, you know, the last couple years with shipping and everything being kind of a mess. So that was like a whole thing of waiting. It was a bunch of sit around and wait basically. So I didn't get 7 done. Me and John couldn't do 7 VR before Village for that reason. And then so did Village, and then I had to do RE7 VR finally. So I finished RE7 VR, finished Tormented Souls, and finished the Claire B Dice Lock. So that is all the stuff that the series that I finished up, which I feel very fulfilled and satisfied. And I know you guys have been enjoying it, so that's cool. I'm 100% into playing playing Evil Dead. That game was a blast. Yes, it was. No problem, Aben. Check out the film. Funky Monk says it would be funny if Capcom shelved Reverse and then released Outbreak. Well, I know that's what a lot of fans would like, you know, because Outbreak's been in the books for a while for most people to just see revamped. Rambo says, did you ever try out the older Evil Dead games for PS1 or PS2? So I played the PS1 Dreamcast Evil Dead game. I don't think I ever played the PS2 game. But, you know, those are games that I would play here on the channel. I would be open to playing it here. As you guys know, I do play other survival horror games, and this year I am expanding that as well. So this is always going to be Let's Talk Resident Evil. I'm not changing the brand, I always say this. I always sound like a broken record. But I like dedicating, you know, a couple days during, you know, the month or the week doing a playthrough, and that's what Tormented Souls was. Tormented Souls was kind of like a test to that, to see if you guys kind of wanted to see that, and it did decent. I mean, it got a couple hundred views, nothing crazy, but you know, I've done Dead Space in the past, I've done Silent Hill in the past. I would love to do Evil Dead. I would love to do that, and in fact, I'm working on a poll for the YouTube members and Patreon supporters. So if you are on either one of them, you get to vote on what survival horror game is next on LTRE that isn't Resident Evil, because when I do these other survival horror games, there will always be another Resident Evil or a couple of Resident Evil streams simultaneously going on. But I like to just kind of pepper in something new, something refreshing that's still horror related, that's still survival horror, that's still kind of part of the roots, that's still kind of part of everything. And that game, Evil Dead, on the PS1 and PS2, I know is very Resident Evil inspired, or at least the PS1 and Dreamcast one was. So I'm looking forward to that. I know a lot of you guys want to see me play Silent Hill again, but this time like this with me on camera. The last time I did Silent Hill 1 and 2 was before I was on camera and all that stuff. So a lot of shit. Midnight Deluxe says, which Capcom reverse Outbreak. Yeah, continuing on with that discussion. Chris Kennedy, fellow YouTube member. What's going on, Chris? Thanks for coming in, man. Hope you're doing well. Hit that like button, guys, if you haven't yet. I really appreciate that. Replayed Dead Space last weekend. Still holds up big time. And I'm optimistic about the remake. RE2 Remake set a great example of how to remake horror games. I mean, RE2 Remake was great, Aaron. I agree. I think the Dead Space Remake looks fantastic. Like, they look like they're listening to fans. Like, fans were complaining about the plasma cutter and the fucking the one other rifle sounds and stuff like that when they like did a little sound test, and fans like were actually upset, and they went back and fixed it, and they put on social media, they're like, hey, we heard your feedback, here, we fixed this, and everyone was like, yes. So it seems like they are handling it pretty decent, and I am playing Dead Space 1 remake on this channel day one when it comes out. So it almost makes me wonder if like I want to put Dead Space on that poll because the remake's coming out so soon. I don't know. What do you guys think? Should I put Dead Space on that survival horror? Because I'd put Dead Space on there, Silent Hill 1. That's giving maybe too much away already, but yeah. Let's see. Lucius is asking if I ever feel like I have to censor myself with topics. I talk about main reason why I watch your channel for RE stuff is because of it. Yeah, the authentic stuff is, yeah, that's kind of the big thing that I always like to keep is the authentic stuff. And yeah, no, I honestly don't ever feel that way. And being part of the Capcom creators thing, you know, this came up I think the last Hangout session. People were asking if that will kind of like change the stuff. Like, but no, it really doesn't, because there's not something that says, hey, you can't have an opinion about a game. You know what I mean? There's people that get review copies and they have a whole gimmick of just trashing games online. So for me, it's like it's all constructed, and I'm gonna say how I feel, and that's why, you know, me and John weren't really scared to say how we felt about Village. Even though we did the co-streams for Capcom, you guys were there. Lucius, you were there. All these people in the chat were there. You know, we were just trying to be honest. And they never said you can't have an opinion. You can't have your own opinion. You can't be upset at this. You know what I mean? Because if anything, you got to have to listen to that, you know. But yes, the day I can't be authentic, the day I can't be myself, and the day I, you know, whatever, then I might as well stop, because it's not fun anymore. I can't be like, you know, it's not like I'm going to be looking over at a thing and I'm like, oh, I can't say that, can't say this, can't say that, can't say that, you know. If it was like that, even with like the Capcom thing, I would be like, all right, I'm done, because I'd rather just like not get that stuff if it means like, you know, that was the case. But no, I mean, I'm happy you guys come back for the authentic nature of things, and that's why I want you guys to come back, you know what I mean? Because I've just tried to be honest, and I try to make it like we're just hanging out. Stan says, I still have this feeling that Exo Primal was supposed to be Dino Crisis reboot, however, they decided to play it safe. I don't think so, Stan. I think they just like, I think they really are trying to, for some reason, push multiplayer a lot. Like versus games. We see that with Reverse. We see that with Resistance. So I really don't know why. Again, but I agree. I mean, look, I want to see Dino Crisis, you know? So I don't know what's going on. Jin, fellow YouTube member, what's up, man? Thanks for coming in. Quentin says, I'm down for any games. It'll be fun to watch. That's awesome. Love to see you play Silent Hill 2, says Akira. Yes, Silent Hill 2 is... When I played that, because if you guys go back and check out the archived Silent Hill stuff, what you'll notice is I called them blind runs, because they really were the first time me playing it and kind of getting my like first reaction. This time I'll kind of be a little more aware of what's going to happen. Doesn't mean I'm going to be good at it, but I will be aware of kind of like the story and the scares. That's why Silent Hill 2 became one of my favorites. Rambo says, I'd be down to seeing you play Silent Hill games on camera this time. Would be cool to see. Yeah, that is, I think a lot of people are saying Silent Hill, and I think the channel has grown a lot more since I did that Silent Hill playthrough, to where a lot of people missed that. They kind of missed when I put that out. They didn't see it, or maybe they didn't go back and watch it. So when I tell people to go back and watch it, that only does so much. But if I come out and be like, hey, this is a brand new playthrough, it's just, you know, I'm just playing through it. You know, I'm not really that good, but I can kind of get through it, you know. That's kind of what it's going to be. So it won't be as hard as Tormented Souls, I doubt it, considering I have some knowledge. Tormented Souls, I had zero knowledge of going in, and that took me a few months to get done. But it's done, and I liked it. I would go back and play that again, you know, because now it's a little bit easier. But getting through that first, like, push and playthrough with those, like, cryptic-ass puzzles, it's pretty tough. I have my opinions on the first-person RE games, and you already know how I feel. Oh, yeah, Chris, I know. Definitely. Have you played Galarians? No, I have not. Left a little something in our Discord chat. Discord chat? Oh. Uh-oh. Gary Garcia, thank you so much for joining the $5 tier on Patreon, by the way. I just got that. I wanted to shout that out because you just signed up while we're live. So thank you so much, man. I don't think it doesn't come up and pop up and say, hey, oh, that's killer, man. That's killer. That's so fucking killer. I love it. Well, one thing I would say, Or I'll say in here. I love it. I love it. I was gonna say maybe we can. Yeah. There we go. That's killer, man. I fucking love that. I figured. That's killer, Quentin. Thank you so much, man. This guy is fucking killing it with the artwork. Gowdy, what's up, man? Oh my god, I look up, I see all these comments here. It's awesome. Thank you so much, guys. You guys are fucking killing it. Quentin's the man. He's holding this shit down. And Quentin, yes, we'll be chatting it up about some inocula stuff. So much stuff planned. All right. Nemesis says, actually, Anthony, Exoprimal was the Dino Crisis remake, but Capcom scrapped it and made a new IP. It drifted away from the Dino Crisis formula. I'm curious where that came from, Nemesis, because I didn't hear anything about this. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm not questioning. I'm just saying, where did that come from? Because I would like to see that and read that, and then I'll be like, oh shit, yeah. Because if that's the case, then I wanted to see Dino Crisis. Was too much difficult and logic. It was. Eamon's like, sorry, but you sucked at Tormented Souls. Eamon's like, you're terrible. Gowdy's in the chat. What's up? JK says, where do you think they will go with the next Resident Evil? I kind of like the last one. I really enjoy it. I really feel like replaying it. I think they're going to stick to first person. I think they might take it a little bit back more with the enemies. They might not do the whole like Lycan werewolf thing. Maybe they might switch it up. I would like them to kind of get back to zombies again. Fixed camera action adventure, Galarians. I would suggest you pick that game up. Okay, Chris Kennedy. Okay, so you guys are putting Galarians over. I'm going to have to check that out. What's your opinion on PS Plus Premium? Will you be using any of the tiers? I'll be using it for a month. I'll be trying it out. I don't know if I'll keep using it because, I try to limit subscriptions heavy. And yeah, I just try to limit that stuff. And like, I own a lot of that stuff too. So it's like, do I got to pay for a subscription if I own the disc? Like, should I keep paying for that? I don't even know. I chatted with the developers of Tormented Souls. They're awesome. Oh, that's killer. That's so cool, anime fan, that you got a chance to talk with them. Today I took a shower using water and I walked using my feet. Well, Burla, it's fucking, that's good. There you go. That's enough to be grateful, right? When both feet hit the floor, as long as that happens and you're just like, you're chilling, you're just doing your thing. I read it in an article somewhere. If I can find it, I'll send it. Yeah, send it my way, man. Because like, I like to just, I always like to check everything out and look at where stuff's coming from. But also just like, I would love to see Dino Crisis, Yeah, definitely, Nemesis. I definitely will hit you up. I owe a couple people some collabs, so I'm gonna get to that once I schedule everything. And but I am trying to do more collaborations this year. I've said that. I've gone on record to say that. So yes, Nemesis, we'll figure something out, man. And I'll be reaching out to you. JK says, what do you think of a non-linear game for RE? No. I would just prefer some kind of like Outbreak inspired game. That'd be really cool. Jordan, yes, I did have a nice Easter. Hope yours as well. Would Onimusha remake be great? Oh yeah, I love Onimusha. That's great. Let's see. What do we got? Nice Texas Chainsaw shirt. What's up, Ozzy? Thanks, man. Luckily for me, I don't use many subscriptions at all, but I already have the passes for PS Now and Plus, so when in June comes, I'll automatically become the member. Yeah, that's usually how that works. They convert all of the PlayStation Now stuff. In fact, if you still have, if you're able to find the PlayStation Now cards, now they pulled the cards. We talk about this on Game Complainers all the time. They pulled the cards on the stores, like on the like online, but if you go into stores or gas stations or whatever and you still find the PlayStation Now cards, they're still 60. And all of that becomes the new membership, I'm pretty sure. So that is the way to kind of, you know, save some money because it converts now automatically. So if you just redeem all now before June, if you find those cards, you can get them for the same price instead of the extra whatever. So Nemesis has a birthday coming up. Well, happy early birthday to Nemesis. Yeah, I'll be checking it out because I also want to, you know, I don't pay for PlayStation Now, and there's a reason for that. I just don't play on PlayStation online. I play the PlayStation, I play the PS5. I just don't play online. I just don't. All the games that I play are crossplay, and or I play on Xbox, so or I play on PC. So it's really just like I don't really need to pay for a subscription. But obviously, I'm going to test this out, or if I'm able to stack the PlayStation Now stuff. Yes, Eddie Gonzalez, that's a Freddy Krueger lunchbox down here right on the shelf. I got that in I think, a comic store in Philly. Outbreak is my favorite, hands down, says CamMA. We need a remaster, Capcom. Yes, that'd be fucking awesome. Hit me up on Twitter if you want to hit me, or if you want to hit me up on, If you want to hit me. If you want to hit me up on whatever works, Discord, private message me or Discord, and I can add. Oh yeah, man. Yeah, if we're all on the Discord, we'll work it out, definitely. That's the best spot to message me. Let's see. Here is now. I would have done the Dino Crisis remix reboot. Yeah. Listen, man, I would love to see. Oh, he was saying have the main character reuse the main character and put them similar setting like The Last of Us, so like post-apocalyptic dinosaurs that infect you. Yeah, I mean, dude, they could do anything. You know, it's like that's the thing too. It's like you could really just spin Dino Crisis into. It doesn't even. I don't even think fans, because that's not like a. Like it was a small time hit. I feel like over the years people liked 1 and 2. Like if you're a fan of Resident Evil, but I don't think fans are that connected to it to where like they're gonna get so mad if you change like what you just said, like make it like post-apocalyptic, make it whatever. I don't think fans would even get mad at that. They just want to fucking see, you know, Dino Crisis. So let's see. He said, "It's not my birthday. Where did you hear that?" Says Nemesis. So it's not near Nemesis' birthday. Nemesis is like, what the fuck? Who's creating that rumor? My day's been good, Gary Hudson. It's been very good. Shadow Man, what's up? Fellow YouTube member. Call me weird, but I take Operation Raccoon City too. I like Operation Raccoon City a lot. It was so much fun to play with friends. Midnight, I agree. That's why I'm still trying to finish up the DLC. We beat it live on stream a few months ago, but I want to go back and do the DLC because it is fun to do with friends. And, you know, it's not a perfect game, but it's fun. And I like the what if scenario. I wouldn't mind another what if game, you know, just to bring us back to Raccoon City. And I feel like that would be a real excuse to be like, hey, you know, let's kind of attempt an Outbreak kind of, you know, 4-piece style co-op game if they are kind of going in a multiplayer co-op kind of direction. Shadow Man coming in hot with the $9.99 super chat. Thank you so much, man. Really appreciate that. Thanks for hanging out and being a member. And like I said, you members and Patreon supporters, if you're on there, I will be posting a poll today when I wrap up here. That is going to be voting on the next survival horror game that I'm going to be showcasing on the channel. And I named a couple that I'm going to throw on the poll list, but it is going to be very fun. It's going to be very fun to see what happens. I'm very a lot of, you know, not a lot of there's not a lot of like some people, you know, they see stuff on the memberships and the Patreon posts and they'll interact, but the polls are always like interactive. A lot of people vote on them. So you are the same Nemesis that made the RE2 remake rants. Oh, he's asking Nemesis that. I'm pretty sure, Chris. I'm pretty sure. I forgot to add the dinosaurs will be new types of what we never heard of in our history. In other words, the dinosaurs came from the different timelines. Well, that's the one thing that, like, even like when I play like Monster Hunter and they have like you know, because like I said, I recently played Monster Hunter Rise and I'm really enjoying it. And Capcom sent me the code, and even playing that, was just like I see very dinosaur-inspired creatures, and it kind of reminds me of Dino Crisis. And I was like, damn, even if they came up with their like they're already kind of doing that, but like monsters that sometimes look like dinosaurs, like really are like dinosaur inspired. So in playing that in the last couple weeks or last week or so, I've kind of picked up on that. I'm like, huh. Even if they did, even now that you mentioned that, yeah, even if they did something like that, I don't see why people would even care. They'd be like, all right, it's back. Kamame says, if someone says their favorite is Umbrella Corps, they're getting clapped. LOL JK. Yeah, well, there's people that like it in the chat. Midnight even says it's on sale for $5. He's still not buying it. He's not playing it. Yeah, I mean, listen, you're not missing much. You're not missing much. And maybe I would have to go and get the trophies for that game, eventually, or do something. Maybe someone can help me out with that. But it's just like, oh my God, dude, that thing is just like so. That thing is so rough. Let me see. Just wanna. Holy shit, Kamame with the $9.99 super sticker with the cat. Thank you so much, Cam. Really appreciate that. Couldn't be worse than RE6. Gowdy, yeah, Gowdy does not like RE6 at all. RE6, it always brings me back to a time, when we did the channel, and it's like, speaking of, 2012, that is when we made the idea to kind of figure out a podcast, that was the year. So 2012 was a groundbreaking year for the channel, where me and Richard were like, you know what, let's let's do it. Let's do a show. Because I even told Richard, I'm like, let's just do a show and we'll just call it, Let's Talk Resident Evil. So yeah, technically Let's Talk Resident Evil is from 2012, Quentin. So hell yeah, you do know your shit. But when I message you, yeah, we'll stick with that. But it's all good. It's all good. I really appreciate that. But 2012 brings me back to that year, and that's when I decided, I was like, you know what, let's have a format where we just kind of shoot the shit on RE6, because we were kind of really feeling offended by RE6, and we didn't like it as much. And it was like it was kind of like how I felt with Village in some ways, not as disappointed, but RE6, a lot of people, they just ended up kind of hating it. And at the time, it was a very dark time. It was the dark days. So starting a podcast in the dark days of Resident Evil wasn't really the greatest idea. But it benefited, because it goes back that far. It goes back to when RE6 was brewing, and it kind of put Capcom in a, there was a lot of just weird stuff that happened with that time. Everything kind of shifted. Resident Evil kind of went into a weird period, a dark period, and those are the dark days. That's what we refer to as the dark days. What is this? Dino Crisis needs Regina. Where is Regina? Nowadays, people saying maybe it was too harsh on RE6. Nah, no, you were. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, people nowadays, I'm seeing that. I'm seeing a lot of people that like champion RE6 nowadays. They go back and they say RE6 was. I liked RE6 in like a co-op way. Like it was kind of like, it was almost like a Village thing, where like there were certain aspects of the gameplay that I liked, but the story was what made me really just not gel with it as much. And I feel like 6 is kind of like that, where I just thought some of the cinematics were very well done, very well acted. I liked some of the, ideas that they had, but it was not well. It was not a well-made game. It was too self-indulgent with 4 campaigns. And Gowdy is unsubbing right now. Unsub. What's up, Gowdy? Can't wait to hang with you in the UK, man. Paris says, play Sweet Home English translated ROM. Yes, definitely. So that might be on the poll, Perry. That might be on the poll that I'm putting out for my fellow Patreon and members. So maybe not. Hint, hint, maybe. I don't know. But yes, so RE6 was it just I kind of understand or I don't understand where all this like nostalgia, people liking it comes from, because you know, it's but now if I played it with friends, it's more bearable. It's definitely more bearable. The Mercenaries is the best part about that game, hands down. Okay, Gowdy, you could say what you want about raid mode, but that RE6 Mercenaries mode is a really fun mode, and it has nothing to do with the actual game of RE6 other than, the mechanics. It doesn't have anything to do with like the campaign, the story, the and all that shit. But I'm not championing RE6. I'm not like one of these guys that's like, oh, I feel nostalgia. I do have nostalgia with it to a certain degree, but not like blindfold, like I like it. It's great. It's just more like, all right, I have nostalgia because I was doing stuff on the channel around that time that was kind of reflecting how I felt about RE6. So in a way, that negative impact of RE6 kind of made for some content. So, Gaddy says calling 911 right now. Oh, come on. You don't like the mercs on RE6? There better be RE6 mercs set up at the event. If not, I'm gonna leave. I'm not RE5 and RE4 mercs though are great too. I like them all. I honestly like all the RE mercs in a certain way, because like they all are just fun mini games. But yeah. Let's see. RE6 could have been an amazing game, but in my opinion, it falls flat. Yeah, that's kind of where a lot of people sit with it. I like RE6 because you can play in a couple, or play with two people and enjoy it. Yes, you can play with two people. And that's what's good about RE5 too. Like, so there, it is fun in that aspect, but I did not play RE6 co-op as much as RE5. I didn't have that, like, RE5 kept me going back to it, where RE6 was like, no. Because there's some sections in that game where it is really annoying and the design is really annoying. And like, I'm reminded that every time I play it. So I think sometimes I hate it more every time I play it. I don't know. I can't even play Raid Mode 2 anymore because of the maps. Damn. Gasho says, glad the channel's still going strong, brother. I do have to guess for the village. Do we have a guess on when the village DLC would drop? Not really. I mean, I would hope sometime this year, maybe later this year in the fall. That would be a guess, though. It's literally a guess. Good question. Battle mode, mercenaries, or raid mode? Which one do you think is the best? That is a good question, Midnight. Battle mode, mercenaries, or raid mode? What does the chat room have to say about this? I still got 38 people in here. I really like the battle modes, but I would say mercenaries. Just because I really like mercenaries on RE3 a lot, even though I do suck at it, and I like RE4 mercs, I would say mercenaries, but I do like the battle mode on Sega Saturn, and I do like the battle mode on RE2. I like raid mode too. I don't want to shit on raid mode, but I would probably do battle mode and mercenaries before I went to raid mode, just because I, grew up playing them. I grew up playing the old battle modes. Brent says, do you think they'll ever get a side character again, like Sheva or Jake? Maybe. I don't know. They kind of made Chris a side character in the last one. Oh! Hart says, Ant, for me, I prefer 6 over 7 and 8. Regardless, all the issues, because at least it feels more Resident Evil with the characters that we grew up with. 7 and 8 are RE by name. Hard 4 makes a point of a lot of people feeling that, because they still had those old characters and interactions, does that make it good enough to justify it as a Resident Evil? So Monsoon says, what's up, Gatekeeper? Oh yeah. I'm the opposite of a gatekeeper, but what's up? What's up, Monsoon? We're against gatekeeping here, so, unless you want to gatekeep, we can kick you out right now. Gowdy says, feel more RE, you need bandmate. Feels more RE, you need the Kappa. No, RE6, again, I think people think it feels more like Resident Evil because the characters are in there, but feeling like Resident Evil, it doesn't really, I think it's a just a full on action game, like how RE5 was a full on action. Nemesis says, Anthony, when you play RE4 VR Mercs mode, especially the new challenge modes, I will say you will become addicted to it. It's extremely fun. Yeah, no, I'm really looking forward to kind of going into that, kind of like with a fresh experience, and it's gonna be fun. For me, it just sucks because again, I can't really play VR for too long, so I am gonna have to do that in like sessions. You know what I mean? Um, Anthony, any news about RE games from Capcom? No, not really. No news for DLC. Nothing really going on right now. That's like, super crazy. I have like fucking random hair in my mouth. I'm like, what the fuck? What the fuck, mate? Yeah, I gotta go into the RE4 VR and just like, just have fun with it. I really had fun with RE7, the RE7 VR. So that was like my first like beating a game start to finish in VR. So that was very fun. I did play RE2 Remake, however, it doesn't feel like the original game. I mean, it doesn't feel original RE2, but I do miss the classic monsters. Original RE2 still is the best game. Well, yeah, it's definitely very different, but it did it in a remake way, with the new engine, with the over the shoulder. Exactly, Midnight doesn't really know what it wants to be. We'll love a Rev 3 with Rebecca and Jill. I agree, Gowdy, but I would like to see Jill, maybe Rebecca, but I like to see Jill in a main game. I think she deserves that, not just a remake. Um, but say Monsoon says Resident Evil is going downhill. Understand that, says Monsoon. Yeah, he's sticking it to the man, Monsoon. He's the high and mighty, sticking it to the man. No, I don't think it's necessarily going downhill. I think, if anything, it's by fans' terms. I think that some people can say it's been going downhill for a while. So you're not saying anything new that the fans have been saying for years, bickering about, getting upset about. I myself find enjoyment in the remakes, and I enjoy, if I enjoy 2 and 3 remakes. So, I don't really think that's the last couple years have been bad at all. But obviously, what you feel about the mainline games, to each their own. But I consider the Rev games to be main entries or canon. Well, they are. I guess they are canon, but and they're part of the main story as a spinoff. But yeah, I know it's like I know people are just fucking people are nuts. Yeah, I consider Rev and definitely canon. And then in turn, but like I don't know, I just feel like I would like to see Jill. Just I don't know, not in a spinoff again because they already had her in Revelations, Yeah, Quentin says it's higher right now than it's been in the last decade, and it's still growing, even now with the diverse options. Yeah, like, that's what I'm saying. Is that like RE is just like it's just growing. It is growing. It's successful. It's been successful. So it's just a matter of opinion. But on paper, it's successful as hell, and they're still killing it. So, and I still enjoy playing Resident Evil. I still enjoy playing and covering new Resident Evil, even if I don't like it, because it's just kind of part of what I like to do and part of my job. And Resident Evil 5 hardcover. You mean the strategy guide? So, man, do you think more Resident Evil games will be made with a VR focus? Maybe, Axel. Maybe. It depends on how that technology kicks off. But they've done it before. Gaiden is canon too, but nothing that happens is consequential. I don't think it's canon though, is it? That's not canon. I think just because of the BOW Leon alone is not canon. Gas says, am I the only one who was kind of disappointed in Village? The lore was drifting. Yeah, I mean, Gaz, like, that's pretty much how I felt, in certain ways. I just felt like it was drifting in weird ways story-wise. I think the gameplay was solid, because it's fun, it's easy, the merchant was really cool, so they use those RE4 aspects. But again, I got a lot of shit for sticking to my guns, but, let's see. I like 2 and 3 remake, but disappointed they weren't RE1 remake. I know what you mean. RE1 remake is my favorite remake, so. Will you do something for the first anniversary of Village? I wish I could see your general reaction that YouTube took off. So frustrating. Yeah, I know, Hardcore. The whole, like, going over 12 hours and YouTube doesn't save, and we should have been more aware of that because we ran into that before. When we did the Legacy series and leading up to RE3 remake a year prior. But yeah, YouTube took that off, and a lot of people think we covered it because we didn't want people to get mad at us. People are so dumb. People are so fucking stupid. Yeah, and that's why we did the review, we did the reaction, stuff like that. But I don't know. I might do something for Village next month. Who knows? I'll be doing RE4 VR. I'll be doing other stuff, so I don't know. But it's been a little bit, so. Kamame says, if they turn Leon into a bear or a woman, then we could say it's going downhill. Yes. It's like, but they could make, again, the different story elements and stuff they do, like even with the Chris thing, I thought was just very like, come on, why'd you do Chris dirty like that? It's now Silent Hill unless they reboot it, if it is going nowhere. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of going nowhere. Abdul says, hey, Anthony, I saw the channel's Twitter active again recently. Keep it up. Share your collection, quick reviews, fan engagement. There are a lot of RE fans on Twitter that will need to be introduced. Yes, well, I've been on Twitter. I mean, I never stopped on Twitter. I think the Eli says it's time for Let's Talk, Anthony. Perry says, shut up, Eli. No, I've been active on Twitter since I started using it, really, to tweet out videos and stuff. But I have been posting, more on Facebook and Instagram a little bit more, and I've been posting direct videos to Facebook, to the LTRE Facebook. So yeah, I'm trying to use some of the socials a little bit more better. But let's see. I hope that down the line we can get that RE3 director's cut. I don't think it was fair for fans to pay $60 when it was not even done, and that game was not. Well, I mean, I think, I don't know. We can agree to disagree on this, and maybe it's something we'll talk about when we sit down and chat on a show or something. But I personally think RE3 remake was, I thought it was worth the full price. Even when it was on sale, I thought it was worth it. I thought the content within the game was still justified a full price, just like how back in the day when you bought a full game, it was justified a full price, but you could still beat RE3 in 2 hours, 3 hours, very short game. But I do agree with the aspect of the clock tower was cut. Type 2 Nemesis was different. These are things that I hold passionate because RE3 is my favorite game of all time, and I'm not going to stick up for the remake and say it was completely perfect, but there is stuff that they cut out then that was just not really necessary, but I still enjoyed RE3 remake. I can say this and still say I enjoyed it because I know that that's what we're going to get and that's it. And I really liked it, but people were like, well, how could you like it? How could you, again, I heard it all from all of the fans, playing Capcom's favor. You're doing this, you're doing that. How can you stick up for it when all this stuff's taken out and this, and that? And I get it. But, that's why those points are taken off for me for RE3 Remake. That's why it's not completely perfect. But it is also just kind of like one of those things where, again, I liked RE2 as well. I didn't like the scenario like that they did, the scenario game with just like the crossing of the scenario is not really making much sense like it did in the original. So there's like little things that they could have definitely done, but it is what it is. I don't think that. I think people that think that that game was rushed, I think that they're looking at it completely wrong, in my opinion. I don't think RE3 and RE2 remake was developed at the same time, simultaneously. It's not like they finished RE2 in 2019 and they said, "All right, guys, we got to put this out for April 2020. So now you just got to start developing art." Like that's not how it works. That's not how game development works anyway. And when we asked, Nikki Tompkins, who played Jill Valentine in the remake, she told, and obviously, she plays the daughter in RE7. She does, the one chick that dies in the beginning, Elena, or whatever. She said that they did all that stuff in like 2017. You know what I mean? 2018. So that was a long time ago, and they were still making all that stuff. So yeah, McFly is hungry. He's spamming the chat with the sandwiches, but so. What the fuck, Perry? Satan at hell.com and PSN said it was already taken. That doesn't surprise me. That just doesn't surprise me. What the fuck? Oh, that's so funny. Dude vs. Evil, what's up, man? Fellow YouTube members in here. Thanks for coming in. It says, what's up, Bant? Yeah, RE2 Remake failed with the zapping system. Truly broke my heart. Would have loved to see a Remake 2 like RE1 Remake. Yes, that's kind of what I've been saying since 2 and 3 Remake in our podcast reviews that Perry's been on, John's been on, all, you guys have heard them in the past. I always say I always prefer the original because I always just like the older style. I always like the original camera angles, and to each their own. Some people can't go back to those games and play it. But I just like, but the remake style, like if I prefer one remake, or sorry, what I should have said was the main question comes up is, do I prefer remake 1 compared to 2 and 3 remake? Like what kind of remake style do I prefer? And then the answer is always remake. And that's why when it's like, what is the best Resident Evil remake? Resident Evil 2002 remake, Resident Evil 2, Resident Evil 3. I'm always going to say remake. From GameCube. That's just, I just like that. But yeah, I think that whole conversation of 2 and 3 or 3 being rushed is very dead, because that was dead immediately. And then as soon as because I even told John, I was like, I'm asking Nikki Tompkins in this interview because Capcom had to like viewer questions before we sent them in or whatever. But regardless, I was like, let's look at let's ask. That was the one interview where they did that, by the way. We never had. Jeff Shine was just like, all right, you just hit me up and we could just do this. And so Jeff Shine was super cool. Nikki was the only one who ever had to go through like an agency. It was like, little top tier situation going on. But I was like, when did you do this? When did you do the, capturing process? And it's like 2017, 2018. So it's like, you got to actually ask these people when they worked on it. Because they it's not like they were just like, all right, Nikki, come in for motion capture. Jeff Shine, come in for motion capture. 2 years. We don't even have a game yet, but just go, just record it, and we'll use it later when we make the game in 2019, right before or right after RE2 Remake is made. It's like that's not how productions work. So yeah, I kind of debunked a lot of that shit, me and John, and I'm very happy that we did that because we kind of put our, we put our foot down. We had a lot of people kind of giving a shit during that time, but I understand like people that, there's one thing where like you can have an opinion on a game once you play it. Like, again, you could still know all that be fact and then play RE3 and say, I still didn't like it, or I still didn't like how it was. That's perfectly fine. Again, to each their own. You are entitled to your own opinion. So, let's see. Winnie the Pooh opens his jar of honey with his bare hands. From a replay standpoint, R3 is awesome. I've gotten 80 to 100 hours out of that game through speedruns. Yeah, man, definitely. Eli says, I would love to see what they do with 1 if they reimagine or put that on the RE engine, says Eli. I agree. That would be killer. What's up, Jin? Bless up, everyone. Thank you for the 50 try. Really appreciate that. Nemesis says, I really wish the camera angles would be an optional thing going forward for the RE franchise. Capcom could do it with the RE engine, but they chose not to do it. Yeah, I don't know, Nemesis. Like I agree with that because I love fixed camera angles, but they, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if it's
Let's try.
I don't know if people
Start.
really care about fixed camera angles anymore with the newer generation of people. It sucks, but like I think that's just a dead thing now. For a lot of these companies to look at it from a business standpoint. Like, what can people pick up and play? All right, well, RE2 Remake sold a fuck ton. First person works a lot, so let's stick to that. And that's kind of where they stop. And again, I understand from a business standpoint, but, I myself personally, I prefer fixed camera angles. That's how I've always been. And I like Tormented Souls. I like that Tormented Souls had balls to do that. It had balls to do that. It really did. Because you are like kind of alienating audience when people can't play those kind of games because people are just like, I can't play it, I'm done. But sometimes they do that to themselves if they aren't open to learning the controls, learning that style. But I like that they just took a risk. Gowdy says, what do you think? When do you think Capcom is wrapping up RE for good? I don't know. I don't think anything wraps up for good. I think it will always be around. Even if it's a reboot, you know what I mean? Even with reboots, will the main story, main timeline end? Yeah, but do any of these franchises end? Do any of these horror movies ever really end? Do some of these games ever really end? Unless there's some kind of financial thing or something happens with the companies and someone sells and buys and shoves something up their ass. Like, does that, I don't know. I don't know what it's going to take, but I think it's always going to be around. I think a lot of these franchises, like, is Mario ever really going to go away? Or Master Chief ever really going to go away? Is Gears of War ever really going to go away? Are these like iconic things ever really going to go away unless they obviously fall on their ass completely and it gives them a reason to stop doing it? So maybe when that happens, but so far that's not really happening. But, I don't know. I just feel like some of these things just live on forever. And some of these horror series and franchises can live on forever because you could just make up whatever, or you can reboot whatever, or you can make a reboot, requel, sequel, whatever. And it just works. So I don't know. It's a good question, though. But Duvers Evil says, yeah, fixed camera angles is a fun challenge to the players. Fun for speedruns and knife-only challenges and more. Absolutely. Yeah, I see what you mean, Nemesis. Like, they already did it first person for 4 games. Or they could do the same, why can't they just do the same for fixed? Yeah, I mean, I think Nemesis, it would be refreshing, but for some people, they wouldn't see it that way, or from like a move of like, well, we got to, see what this is doing. So. Moonsoon says, Ant knows I'm right deep down. He may not be in denial on the surface, but he knows. Monsoon, there's a little thing that I like to say. Sit in the corner, bitch. Eli says, 3 Remake was more about the story of the nuke. Let's see. I think they just wanted to get straight through it. Makes sense as to much later than 2. Well, yeah, 3 was kind of like a get in, get out escape story. And I think that's why it was always kind of like that. So that's kind of like, like it kind of had a different underlying thing going on with Jill, especially attached to that. And then her being in her apartment under house arrest and all this stuff. And then Nemesis breaks through. So, yeah, doing all that in less than an hour. Yeah, Eli. It's like, it almost seems impossible. Like, it just doesn't even seem like it would be possible without like coming out unscathed. Well, I mean, not like everyone came out unscathed, but Aaron says there's much potential for Capcom to do more interesting spin-offs. A fixed camera angle DLC for the future RE would be awesome. They don't have to risk dedicating an entire game to fixed camera angles. Yeah, I mean, just to test it out, right? You know, what's weird is I always thought that with them testing Remake, and when Remake finally went on to the newer machines, and, you know, for the first time since GameCube, and that sold really well, I almost thought that they were going to stick with that, you know, because obviously that sold well, and it led them going into RE2 Remake. But at the same time, it's just like, I thought that was going to be it. I thought that was going to be like their, oh man, we can go to the fixed camera angles and do that. So creating of good games takes too much time. Yeah. Like they thought that I thought that RE3 OG was just like the little footnote of the RE storyline. Well, yeah, I mean, some people think that way. You know, or like, you know, whether they were thinking that way with Remake, I don't know, but it's better than just never remaking 3 or never acknowledging it. So, yeah, Dale, I don't know with Resistance, I'm imagining it's going to be, you know, going. I think it's still going right now. So, yeah, exactly. Demis is just having that option. They could play it, you know, fair like that, just to give people that choice. You know, that's a good point. We got 53 people in here though, and only 34 likes. So hit that thumbs up, hit the like button, um, and yeah, no, I to answer, you know, our we had, you know, one rude person we had to get rid of in here for now. Unless you want to continue to be rude, that's all good. But you know, some people would say, like this, you know, douchebag here, he would be like, all right, you know, I'm in denial that the series is still going. It's like, dude, no. There's there's no denying, you know. Was I in denial when Village was when I gave Village an honest review? Was I in denial? It's like, absolutely not. I was giving the honest. If I was in denial, I would have been like, oh my god, Village is the best game ever, and let's just we're gonna buy every copy and then we're gonna paste it on our wall and we're gonna, oh shit. No, didn't happen. Gave an honest opinion. Probably affected how the channel grew from it, but didn't matter. Does it matter? No. Someone being honest doesn't matter. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter. Let's see. Brent James says, do you think RE2 Remake should have kept Extreme Battle Mode? I would have liked to see Extreme Battle Mode. Let's see. Axel says it's possible to introduce a new Resident Evil character and make them beloved like the original characters, or is it too late? I don't think it's too late, Axel. I think with good writing and just a good story backing it up, I think they can really make it well. I thought some of the attempts they did, like I thought Helena was very interesting, but they didn't. You know, same thing with Sheva. They just don't like reuse them again. RE 3.5 Hookman seems to be the best scenario regarding how fixed cameras gameplay can be implemented in a modern RE game. A combination of fixed and over the shoulder. Yeah, how it zooms in and out. Motion Graphics says, dude, I love your RE content. Thank you. Really appreciate that. Adam thinks they should have kept the third person. Let's see. Aaron says, ignore the noise, dude. I've only subscribed to your channel a few months ago, and it's honestly it's honesty and real opinions is why I keep coming back. Well, thank you. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. It's like, you know, I could have sold out a while ago. I could have been, you know, playing the favor, you know, doing the whatever, and just to get, you know, a bunch of shit. But instead, it was just like, be honest and do, you know, that was always the main goal, is do exactly what I can do. to be honest with everyone. So that's kind of the main thing, is to keep honest. Gowdy says, "Hi, Aunt. I'll give it you a like when you say Resident Evil 6 is the worst game ever produced, not just Resident Evil, worst game period. Then maybe I'll think about liking." Gowdy's fucking pissed. Billy became Nemesis, though. That's Gowdy believes that. He actually believes that. I'm gonna have to convince this guy when I go to the UK that Billy isn't Nemesis. He's so convinced that is the case. But no, yeah, no, I appreciate that, Aaron. I appreciate all you guys that are, again, it's never a bunch of people. It's always, a few people that try to be annoying, you know what I mean? But this chat's always positive. So, which game is the better game in your opinion? Operation Raccoon City or Umbrella Corps? That's not really a question, right? It shouldn't be a serious question. Definitely Operation Raccoon City. But no, thank you, man. Thanks for the question. I definitely would say Operation Raccoon City, because Umbrella Corps, while it is co-op or multiplayer, it's very clunky, very wonky. Operation Raccoon City is more of an action shooter with a little bit of a janky system, but it does work, and it is still fun, even if you play it nowadays, which it is. You can play it on Xbox, you can play it online, play it with the frame boost. It's awesome. Eli says, I think Billy got the hell out of town and lived his life. That's what I think. We all know it's Matt. Ask superfan Paul Anderson. Yes, Quentin. See, Quentin has the answers. We're all there all along. Literally, just look at the Paul Anderson films. It's done. Raccoon City was epic. Yeah, what's up, Gaming Circle? Yeah, the Raccoon City, Operation Raccoon City was just fun, and I think what brought that game up probably a rank or a tier for me was obviously the co-op. Experiencing it with your friends, like playing that back in the day with like Richard and Perry and like all of our friends, right from the start. Was very fun, and we were there right when it came out. And like, I remember going into GameStop and the guy told me, I had it pre-ordered, and I obviously, I was able to play the game a little bit early, did a review, got all that stuff. And I would say I already beat it at this point, but I was going to pick up my copy because I do Resident Evil Collection updates. I probably still have the video of me getting Operation Raccoon City. It's probably out there. Well, it is. I know it is because I definitely recorded it. And in that, I talk about the story of the guy at GameStop, and he asked me, "Are you sure you want to buy this? Are you sure?" And it's like, "Yeah, I'm picking up my pre-order." It's like, because, it was getting a bunch of shitty reviews, and people were shitting on it, and the guy just, like, really questioned me purchasing a game from his store, giving him revenue. It's like, dude, I've had this, and this is before I, like, worked a full job. I'd have to put away money for, like, working with my dad at the time, because he would, like, landscape, or I would do, like cleanup work, because he was a landscaper, so I would help him out on weekdays or the weekends to put away some money sometimes for some games. And like, I was, it's not like I don't even think I had like a full on bank account, like full on. And or maybe I did. It just, I'm not, it's like I'm making money. And it's like, dude, when I'm buying a game, whether I'm trading in games to get that game, or I'm putting money aside from like Christmases and birthdays, and I think it was like birthday money too. It's right. It's like, what I do with that is what I decide to do. So don't question me when I come into your GameStop. I pre-ordered it. And I just wanted it. It was Resident Evil. And little did he know, I already played the game and beat the game, but I didn't say that. I was just like, yeah, let me just get the hell out of here, because this guy's being, a dick. So yeah. Gowdy, or not Gowdy, Carlos Cruz, thank you for coming in here, man. Gowdy says, honestly, I love some sort of episodic release like Tales of the Survivors or whatever. A couple hours long, each focuses on what happened to the characters of Billy, Sheva, Becca, and Carlos. Yeah, that would be cool. Or even if they did that in some kind of like, show kind of way, would be cool. Where it's like kind of more, it's like the animated series where it's canon to our games, but it could be explained in that way. Let's see. I pre-ordered Operation Raccoon City 2. Yeah, Dude vs. Evil did that. Hello, guys. Like, listen, kid, do you really want to spend your money on this? It's like, yeah, but it's like, you don't do that when you're working retail and you have someone that already pre-ordered your game, Like, that's just very, like, that's very stupid. I worked retail for 6 or 7 years, and I know that that's not how you treat customers coming into your place, and especially when they survive off of pre-orders. They pay their rent off of all of the stuff that they sell you, Game Informers, pre-orders, all that stuff. So if I pre-ordered in that aspect where I'm picking up a pre-order that has my name technically in the system and I contributed to your business and store, why would you turn me away? It's not like I'm going to pick out a different game. I came here for Resident Evil. I'm getting Resident Evil. I want the physical copy of my collection. That's what I wanted. You know what I mean? Especially in 2012 when there was still physical stuff a lot more prominent than there is now, where it's just digital. Nowadays, if you don't want to have that experience, you can sit on your ass, chill on your couch, and not even leave. You could just download what you want, buy what you want, and not have to have a shitty experience. Is that the Freddy Krueger lunchbox you have behind you? What do you mean the? This is just one. This is just one from a comic book store. It's cool though, right? My buddy got the Jason Voorhees one, and I got the Freddy one, so. I hate that I don't notify anyone with YouTube. Or YouTube doesn't notify anyone, Carlos. Yeah, that's weird, man. I mean, I try to... Discord automatically sends out a Discord notification, and YouTube obviously hit the bell if you're subscribed, if you guys are as well, so you get those notifications because... Yeah, I know YouTube does a shitty job at letting people know when I upload a video or when I go live, and I see that all the time on other people's stuff too. Like, I didn't even know you're alive, so... Stevie Max says, low-key, I would love to see an Ark side character in Leon's next game. To see Ark be a side character in Leon's next game. I'm good on that, Stevie Mac. I don't think we need that, but... What part of the UK are you going to, man? London. I'm going to be going to London. Let's see. Oh, that's you turning away from the mic. I don't know why the fuck my shit keeps getting quiet. Yeah, sorry. I guess I'm doing really bad mic. I'm doing a really bad mic job today. I don't mean to like keep turning away. I'm trying to just talk straight into it. Sometimes I'm always like adjusting this shit, but it's like, I try to like keep it leveled. I know. I'm sorry. I probably was doing it the whole stream. Oh well, chat room. Hopefully you guys have been hearing me okay, right? It hasn't been like shitty the whole time. What's up, Jack? Reverse is still coming, Peter. Probably whenever that Village DLC comes out, Oh, you have the same lunchbox. That's awesome, Motion. Let's see. I like sitting on my ass, living my best life. Go to a cool pub, Anthony, when you go to the UK and eat some good traditional food over there. Oh, yeah, definitely. I will be, thankfully I have, all the RE Challenger mates over there that will show me around, and we'll go to some good places. That's the good thing, is I feel like I can be guided properly by the gents that live there. I didn't really enjoy Welcome to Raccoon City, Brent James. Definitely did not. You can check out the podcast I did on it, though, if you want to hear kind of more in-depth thoughts, but not very good. Let's see. Weatherspoons is a must, man. What is it? Halloumi fries? Halloumi fries are fire. Okay, I'm gonna have to check that out, Aaron. Yeah, I'm gonna be going there in June. And it's gonna be, it's almost a month away, but it's gonna be June. June the 11th is gonna be the RE Challenger meetup, so that's gonna be very fun. Are any of the animated films actually good? Yeah. I think Degeneration and Damnation are probably the better ones, but I think they're good. And they're canon, and I feel like they feel like Resident Evil. More action, but I think they're worth checking out. Welcome to Raccoon City made me a vegan for an hour. Let's see. Sometimes I have too many beers on the weekends and I watch Welcome to Raccoon City in disbelief. Yeah, I mean, that's basically what it is. Eli says, I still never seen that second RE animated movie. What was that called? Degeneration? Well, no, Degeneration was the first. Degeneration X, he says. No, Degeneration was the first one. Damnation was the second one. Yes, hit that like button, guys. We got almost 50 people in here and 42 likes, so it's pretty good. I really can't wait to see, this is from Sofa King, really can't wait to see what next-gen RE engine can do. A lot of devs are updating their engines for next-gen. Once they stop supporting last-gen, we will see a big difference. Yeah, I mean, I think Capcom is they're definitely already working on stuff on the new games and on their next gen. I know what you mean, though, like a straight up RE engine game. And that new survival horror IP that got delayed is going to technically be a brand new. I forget the name of it, but it is. I have the fucking press thing. You just sign in here. Hold on. What is the name of that game, chat room? It is. What the hell? Let's see. Maybe someone in the chat will know. I don't know. I'm looking at the press thing and it's not here. So maybe someone could do that. Yeah, I mean, I like that, and I'm looking forward to the next gen upgrades. You know, I am going to be streaming RE2 and 3 and 7 and all that again once they get the upgrade. But I don't know when that is. People are asking me that too. You know, they're asking me like, you know, when that's coming out, and I don't know. I mean, that could be any time. They are going to be free, so. Pragmata. That's what it is. Pragmata. That's the game. That's the game that I think is going to be the first RE engine fully on like next gen that we're seeing. Peter says, any upcoming games you looking forward to? Seems like there isn't much coming out this year besides Ragnarok, and that doesn't even have a release date yet. Yeah, that might get pushed back, man. I wouldn't put all your eggs in one basket for that. You don't know. Elden Ring is taking Game of the Year. I think so, Peter. I think Elden Ring came out, and I think a lot of people just kind of stuck with that, and then they're playing everything else. Like I mentioned, I've recently got into Monster Hunter Rise, so I've been playing that and enjoying that a lot. So thanks again, Capcom, for sending me that code. But yeah, so I'm looking forward to diving more into that. I know obviously it came out in January, so I'm a little late, but yeah, I'm looking forward to season 2 of Halo when that updates, because you know I'm playing that a lot. I enjoy playing that a lot, so I'm a Halo fan. What can I say? But yeah, not a lot of stuff going on, so that's why I'm kind of like trying to. Have you played Visage? No, dude, Receival, I haven't. But yeah, just not a lot going on right now. But I'm trying to just go and you know backlog through stuff, play stuff at my own time. I try not to get involved in a bunch of games at once because I start to feel like I'm never gonna beat these things. So I try to take it one step at a time. And Monster Hunter is really cool because it's co-op, and that really helps because playing it with friends helps it kind of guide it along. So I've been looking forward to that, Peter. I'm looking forward to the DLC for Monster Hunter, I would say, because I know it comes out at the end of June. But hopefully I can, you know, check it out, and I want to beat it obviously before, because I want to, you know, I'm pretty sure with that DLC you have to play through it and beat it. So it has more of like, you know what's going on. Kenny Smith, what's up? But no, I have not seen Visage, Dude Receival. Rocco says they remade 1, 2, and 3, and they're doing 4 now. They're going to do 2. So are they going two paths, the classic path and the remake path? So question is, do they remake 5 and 6? Rocco, I think they are going to keep remaking stuff. I think they're going to have a path of new games and then a path of, you know, remakes right now, because obviously they do very well and they keep the relevancy. But I would say it's definitely one of those things where I think a lot of people want Code Veronica. I think that's what people want, even over 4. But we know that they're going to obviously primarily focus on the moneymaker, which is 4. But if Code Veronica doesn't happen, then I would say they should probably do remake, the first game. And I'm curious to see what they could do with that. So I think they'll keep it both going. Brent says, is Monster Hunter couch co-op? No, it's not. You do have to send an invite, and then you just go. You go into your game, go up to the cat that has it brings up like a multiplayer menu, and you can send invites from there. Matt Stewart, fellow YouTube members in here, says, what's up, brother? I'm a bit late to the party today. Hope you're good. All good, Matt. Yeah, we're just hanging out today, shooting the shit with the chat. Want remake of Dead Aim? Oh, man, Rocco. Can't help you there. Pragmata, I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, I'm looking forward to checking it out. I might play it on this channel if it's, it seems like more space survival horror-ish, maybe. So I guess it depends on what kind of game it ends up being. Some games end up becoming completely different from their previews to what it ends up becoming. So I don't know. How do you think Dino Crisis stacks up to the original RE1 through 3? I think it stacks up pretty well. I think it represents that era and those engines really well. Especially over the years, I've come to like 1 and 2 more and more as I play them. I liked them back then, but they were very challenging. They're going to remake 7, says Jack. Yeah, exactly. Do the one that no one was expecting. Cheers from the Lone Star State. What's up, Ray Tello? Visage is a horror game, and I'd highly recommend it. Yeah, a lot of horror games that I haven't even played that I can play on here on the channel. Like I said, I can dedicate a couple streams to doing something else that's different, and a lot of them being new games. But, I'm going to work on a poll tonight that will be going out for you YouTube members and Patreon supporters that haven't heard. You'll be able to vote on the next survival horror game that I attempt here now that Tormented Souls is now on the shelf and done. And yeah, Adam, I think Code Veronica, it was so good, and that's one that I've come to like more and more throughout the years, and seeing that be remade seems more appropriate because it's just a big fan game that there's big fans of that game that have come out throughout the years, even if Code Veronica wasn't successful at the first start. Was about when's the Dead Space remake coming out? I think next year. I think they said 2023, so it's not going to be this year, which is kind of what we expected. I would say Dead Aim over Gaiden Survivor or Survivor 2. Honestly, I would say I like Survivor a little bit over Dead Aim, believe it or not. But I would say, like, if I had to put an order midnight, I would say Survivor, Dead Aim. Survivor, Dead Aim, Survivor 2, Gaiden. Exoprimal was, doesn't really look to... I'm not into the multiplayer stuff with that kind of, like, style. So, and I know there might be a story kind of interlaced between that, but I don't know. Nemesis is saying, if they remade Dino Crisis... Did you know that they remade Dino Crisis twice? Once they did originally with Exoprimal and once back in 2017. That's what I've heard. I heard that they were planning on doing that. I heard about the first remake. The Exoprimal stuff, I haven't, like, that being Dino Crisis originally, that I didn't hear about. But I remember hearing rumblings about that during that era, 2016, 2017, when they were trying to get RE2 Remake figured out. But yeah, I heard about that and don't really know much about it, like, besides that. But it's pretty cool. I mean, it's cool to see the different, years go by, but and they scrap stuff, and they, it's not really a surprise that Capcom does that. They have a history of like just putting stuff away, like, nah, we're not going to do that, or it might just turn into a different project. That's happened so many times, chat room. But yeah, so play House of the Dead for a few streams. Yeah, that's possible, Jack. That can always happen. Some peeps told me Dino Crisis 3 doesn't exist. Yeah, that's another one that I might go back and actually try to beat, because I've never beaten Dino Crisis 3, and I obviously have it. I have an Xbox. Like, I have the stuff to play it, and our Let's Play was kind of unfinished because it was just so bad. Like, it was actually torture for me and John to play that, guys. We didn't even know what we were doing. Maybe I'll have to play it with some kind of guide along because it's so hard over 1 and 2, but, George Sykes says, bust in like Farva. Yo, what the crap? How come nobody called me? What's up, George? Raytel is in Houston. That's awesome, man. RE4 turned into Devil May Cry. It did. Yeah, it did. Um, I would like to see David R is in San Antonio. That's awesome, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out. We got 50 people in here and 49 likes. Maybe we can get over to 50 likes. That'd be cool. If you guys can hit that thumbs up. Jack says Dino Crisis 3 is the best out of all of them. Blasphemy. How Gowdy feels about like RE6 is probably how I feel about Dino Crisis, you know. But, you know, that's a whole other thing. But it's not canon to the fans. Well, that's what I was saying. It's just like, you know, they left fans kind of off on a weird note with 3, and now it's like, it's kind of like, does it even really exist? Because it doesn't have Regina. It's completely in space. It still has to, I guess it still has to do with like time travel and shit. But, you know, I think we'll find that out, George, how corrupt the BSA is in the next installment. That or the DLC. We'll see what happens. Shikushi says, how many people here are from outside the U.S.? I'm from Finland. Well, thank you for watching me from Finland. I think we have a lot of people that are outside of the U.S. here that are in the chat. So make yourselves be aware for Jikushi here. Even though some people don't want to get Exoprimal, I will say support it, because if Exoprimal does well, you will definitely see the DC remake Exoprimal. Yeah, I mean, I'll definitely see if Capcom can hook me up with a code, and I could check it out and maybe talk about it in a video or something like that. RE7 house and dinner scene was inspired by Texas Chainsaw. It was, Ray Tello. It was. Do I like Ray Park? I don't know who that is, Jack, by name. Do you mean Ark or Horizon Zero Dawn? Those could be Dino Crisis 3. Yeah. I you know, that's the thing too. I think like where Dino Crisis kind of sits as like a, you know, games that have been dormant for so long, rebooting and just doing it from ground zero will be better, because it just gets all that space confusion shit out of it. And I know it might still deal with that, because that's what's within the lore, even the first one. But it doesn't have to get too crazy. You could still kind of simplify it for people that have never played Dino Crisis, and I think that's the way that they would approach it. But you know, instead we're getting the Exoprimals here. But from Ireland but living in Wales, hitting the global stage, bro. Yeah, dude, there's a lot of people that just check me out from the UK and Russia and Ireland and just like all these different crazy places, and like I really appreciate like how far it goes, you know what I mean? Japan even, you know, there's some people like, you look at the algorithm, you look at the analytics, and you're just like, holy shit, like where, you know, I think like the most like downloaded spot for the podcast, because like even if you look at the podcast, because the podcast is interesting because people, you can track the downloads. And oh, he was Darth Maul. Oh, okay. I mean, I thought he was pretty good as Darth Maul. I can't really say, you know, how he was with other stuff, because I don't really have a platform for that, because I don't know, like, oh, I know all his films. But yeah, like you guys be surprised, like the statistics of like the shit of like where this stuff comes from, like where these downloads come from. Let's see if I can pull something up here. Like, I've never been to Texas. No, I like to check it out though. I always like to check out Texas. Obviously, I'm kind of going big with the UK trip this year, but I always like to go to Texas. All right, here we go. So statistics by download. So like for example, United States, United Kingdom is the second. Then it's Canada. Then it's Australia. Then it's Denmark. Then it's Germany. Then it's Bolivia. Then it's Brazil. Then it's Chile. Ireland, Mexico, Philippines, India. It's just like, what? Like, it's just weird. It's just it's cool, but it's just funny that, like, you know, it's like you just put shit out on the internet, and it just, like, you know, it just becomes a thing. It just becomes a bigger thing. Let's see here. It's hot as hell in Texas. Yeah. I just bought the new Lego Star Wars game. Yeah, I know that got big reception. All the Killer 7 references in RE4. Yeah, yeah, I know. I think I was looking into that when I was doing more research into RE4. And Killer 7 was a cool um was really cool. And just that era of like even like the mid 2000s, man. Just so many classics that came out from that era. That are classics now because now that's like 10, 15 years ago. Um, but yeah, so, but yeah, thank you guys so much for hanging out with me for a couple. It's already been 2 hours. That's a fast 2 hours. I didn't even think about it. It just flies by just like that. But yeah, just wanted to say thank you guys for coming in, hanging out with the chat. I did know Bruce Willis retired, Jack. It's sad, It's sad we never got, especially like a wrap up to Die Hard, and it's a shame that he has to retire. He's one of my favorite actors. I grew up watching that guy, so it is a bummer. But Adam says, I don't think RE4 needs a remake. What do you think? I don't really think so either. Like, I'd rather go see, like, Code Veronica. I mean, I'm in that thing. So the YouTube is the game convention in Dallas and Houston. They invite YouTubers and game vendors. I told them about your channel. Oh, shit, Raytello. Damn. That's cool, man. Yeah, no, I would love to always come out or do a convention. I would always love to come out and hang out and do like a panel or do like a Resident Evil watch along or to do something. But yeah, I mean, hey, dude, I'd love to come out to Texas. Hit them up, and I don't know if you know them or if you're cool with them, give them my contact info, and we can make it happen. And since I can't find bandmates, do you think it would be better to post songs on YouTube? Yeah, I mean, YouTube I feel like is a great outlet. I feel like there's a lot of stuff out there, but you could still kind of break through or like do some digital service stuff. Bandcamp, Spotify, Apple. They don't really make it hard to set it up. I'm sure it's more easier when they do. When you do like podcast or songs, I'm pretty sure they make it easy. But yeah, no more John McClane, unfortunately, guys. But all right, guys. Yeah, I just want to say thank you guys so much for all the love and support. And I will be back tomorrow afternoon for a Saturday stream. We'll be continuing RE3 Part 5 of the 100% run, and we'll run through it another time. So that'll be that. So I'll catch you guys tomorrow for another live stream, and stay tuned for more LTRE content. Take care.